The ranking tournament qualifying round had finally started, and although they have the numbers disadvantage in every battle, they won against all of their opposition easily, so they reached the top 30 in the rankings. Romantica and Pram celebrated upon seeing this, while Desir thought that the real game was just about to start. Professor Bridget was glad of Desir's success. However, she knew that the students from Alpha class would start going after him. Professor Pugman was enraged after seeing the article suggesting that Desir's party would be the first beta students promoted to Alpha class. He thought it was unacceptable, as they would stain the Alpha class, so he ordered the first-year Blue Moon party members to eliminate Desir's party at all costs in the final round. Afterwards, he asked August if she was capable of winning against Desir since they had faced each other before. August thought that the odds were in her favor, and she declared that she could win. Pugman was satisfied after hearing her response, and he tasked her with leading the first-year Blue Moon party to victory. August had never forgotten about Desir since her defeat at his hands, but she was determined to beat him with everything she had this time. After their meeting, Donata and Percival asked to have a word with August. She thought that they had a problem with her being the leader, but they actually acknowledged her strength, and instead they asked her to leave Romantica and Pram to them during the tournament. August thought that they had a better chance if they fought as a party. Donata agreed, but he told August that he wanted to take down Romantica himself for personal reasons. They were surprised when August let them do what they wanted, but she declared that Desir was off limits and that she would defeat him herself. At the same time, Desir thought Romantica and Pram, who were busy warming up for training, already had enough skills and were ready for the next step. They were looking forward to the kind of training they would be doing to prepare themselves for the final round. But Desir told them that instead of training, they would be doing a special regimen to prepare themselves. However, they actually went to a library, and they were surprised when Desir placed a pile of books in front of them. Pram noticed that all the books were about history, and Desir told them that they would read all of them. Romantica screamed in fright, so Desir explained that the final round of the ranking tournament will take place in a shadow world prepared by the Academy, and historical incidents are recreated in these worlds. And if they managed to stop the incidents, they could clear the shadow world. Pram realized that it was why they would be studying the history books. He thought Desir was really smart. Romantica thought that they didn't actually know which incident would be reproduced. Desir explained that he just picked the books at random. Romantica protested. She said that there was a chance that Desir's intuition would be wrong. But because of this, Desir told them that they would be reading everything on an entire bookshelf if Romantica was up for it. Romantica and Pram panicked, and they just focused on reading the books in front of them. Although he couldn't tell them, Desir knew which incident would be reproduced in the shadow world for the final round. While they were busy reading, Romantica noticed that Pram kept on glancing at Desir. She immediately started teasing him, so Pram covered his face in embarrassment. Romantica thought he was really adorable, so she teased him further. She asked if they went shopping together, grabbed something to eat together, or shared a little secret between them. Pram realized that they actually did all of it, while Romantica realized that something really happened, so she urged Pram to tell her. Pram refused while trying to cover his face, but Romantica didn't want to give up, and she wanted to see Pram's adorable expression, so she kept on pulling the book. However, the book was accidentally thrown into Desir's head. Desir smiled, but they were nervous when he urged them to continue reading. While they were reading, August approached them and stared at Desir. Pram was confused, while Romantica asked what she wanted. August thought it had been a while since their battle, and Desir thought it was around 2 months. He also said that it was a wise choice that she joined Blue Moon, as she deserved to be in the strongest party at the Academy. However, August doubted that they were actually the strongest because Desir was around. Afterwards, she wanted to get down to business and declare war on Desir, but Desir was already expecting it, and he just praised August for showing courtesy to someone she recognized as a rival. August thought that Desir seemed to know her quite well, but she apologized for underestimating him in their previous battle, and then she declared that she would defeat him with everything she had. Desir was glad to see her fighting spirit. He hoped that she would get even stronger to change their future, and he was looking forward to fighting alongside August again. The day of the ranking tournament had finally arrived. The final round was treated like a big event, and townspeople would even come to watch, so it was like a festival. Romantica noticed that Desir was actually wearing his tie properly this time. Desir explained that he prefers not to, since it is stifling, but he thought he had to go all out for the final day. Pram suggested that they go find a tie that's not stifling for Desir, but he was confused when Romantica also asked to join. Desir was glad that they weren't nervous at all, and when they said they were ready, he decided that they go out and come up to the stage. All the parties lined up in front of the portals used for opening shadow worlds. Desir's party was lined up behind the Blue Moon party, and one of the Blue Moon members thought that Desir didn't look like a big deal. However, another member told him not to underestimate Desir, and remember Professor Pugman's instructions. But he still refuted that Desir wasn't worth worrying about at all. At the same time, the announcer explained that the participants would need to solve a certain incident to clear the shadow world. Romantica realized that they wouldn't reveal what incident it was, so Desir explained that finding out is part of the competition. The announcer also explained that magic attacks, interference, and any other methods were allowed inside the shadow world, but receiving fatal damage would disqualify the participant. And lastly, those who contribute to clearing the shadow world will receive more points, while the top 9 will receive the single ranker titles. Pram noticed that they were at the very bottom of the rankings, so Desir explained that they would either need to clear the shadow world or eliminate every other participant. At the same time, the gates to the shadow world finally opened, and the announcer declared the start of the tournament. The crowd cheered as some of the parties started to enter the shadow world simultaneously. Pram and Romantica declared that they would do their best, but Desir told them not to worry before they proceeded to enter the gate. After arriving inside the shadow world, Desir thought that he had to find Romantica and Pram first. However, someone targeted him with an ice bolt before he could even move from his current spot. Although Desir managed to dodge, the Blue Moon party member thought she was lucky to find Desir first. Desir joked about being famous, but she refuted that he was actually infamous, and she immediately targeted Desir with her ice blast. Desir easily blocked it with his fire spell, but she started using 2 spells simultaneously as she continued her attack. Desir wasn't surprised, but he was confused as to why her second spell was defensive. However, she actually used it to freeze her aqua wave and launched the ice shards at Desir. Desir still managed to block her attacks, but she declared that she was just getting started, and then she made a cyclone and used it to hurl the ice shards in Desir's direction continuously. However, Desir just made fun of her control, as she still failed to do any significant damage to him. She was enraged, and she immediately increased the intensity of her spell, but Desir used his inversing spell to stop her, and then he made a massive ice shard similar to her spell and launched it in her direction. The Blue Moon party member was confident she could block it. She thought it was impossible for a commoner's magic to beat her. However, Desir split the ice shards, and he controlled them perfectly, launching them at his target from different angles. The girl was stuck inside the ice crystal after receiving Desir's attack before getting transported out of the shadow world. Afterwards, the system announced her disqualification and the number of remaining participants, which was 29, while Desir just thought that it was one person down. Thank you all for watching. Don't forget to drop a like if you enjoy this video, and please subscribe so you won't miss the next part. And just comment down any anime you want to see in this channel.